Welcome to the FAQ podcast, frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. Subscribe. Y'all watching, but y'all not subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watching, but you not.
What they got to do when they subscribe, man?
Yo, just hit
tell
like,
them.
subscribe. Like, why you hating? I thought you was family.
What they got to do?
Subscribe. Hit the button. Subscribe
on YouTube.
On YouTube. What you doing?
He has kids. I have a grown up.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, yeah. My kids all together, how old are they? They 15. All of them.
Oh, yeah.
All
My daughter's
together.
20, man. So now, in other words,
yeah,
hit that subscribe on YouTube.
Even on podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, man. We on Spotify. We on Apple Podcasts. Tuned in. If you got a Tesla, search Fuzzy and Quincy.
Damn, you talking about you got your music.
No, I'm saying right there, if you have a Tesla, if you're not going to the gas station, you can search our name right there and tuned in and listen to our podcast with the artwork and everything.
And the reason why that intro sound different from other intros is because our next guest, he's not a hater. He seems like a hater. He's a chef. He's a father. He's a comedian. He's a genius at work. Let's give it up for the own Donnell Rawlings.
Is it? Can I start by making a correction to your intro?
Yeah. Wow, what's wrong?
I am a hater.
Yeah, you are a hater?
Yeah. It's and specifically toward you. I didn't even know how to come in here because I think our last encounter when you were doing the radio in Philly, and I forgot. You know, you got a motherfucker that's got two different looks and shit.
This guy right here.
Yeah, like he got I'll put it like this. His dress is like, you know, somebody that don't use their job voice until they talking to somebody of importance. Like he dresses like this. Like the swag you see right now, this is gangsta keep it real shit.
Yeah.
But he's
FAQ
known,
swag.
He's known to be one. He got I'm sure he has a closet full of suits.
No, I had suits. But that was like Ghost.
Right.
It was Ghost was, you know, you saw he was running for, if you watch Ghost on TV, he was Ghost.
First couple of seasons.
You know what I'm saying? He had the suits on.
But you got a lot of suits.
Yeah, I got a lot.
The average black person got one or two suits just for funerals and for graduations. You got shit that's not even for none of that.
You right.
You got shit that you knock on a nigga door Saturday morning. The Jehovah's Witnesses, I've talked about it before. You got suits, son.
Yeah, listen, that's when I was like, I was moving.
But your attitude changed, though, son.
I was happy.
No, when you use your suit, you say shit like, I beg your pardon.
Wow.
You say stuff like, you say that to say, and you look deep and be like, and your point is... And that's what I just
proper.
I like
it. Changes.
We got to be able to change.
Yeah, you got to. It was a chameleon, but
is that code? Is that considered code switching?
Code switching?
Yeah, is that code switching?
I guess it is. But I'm done with that shit. I'm done doing that.
Yo,
it was tiring.
He has an influence on his son. His son like wearing suits.
Yeah, I got 3 sons, so he's 8. He like wearing suits because he remembers seeing me wearing suits.
It's a good thing. I'm gonna tell you. Even though I'm cracking jokes, lately, because I think that men of a certain age, you go through a transition in your life where you don't know if you want to rock the young shit or the old shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got the skinny jeans right here, and you got the tailored suit right here.
Yeah.
And you like, for some reason, in our community, you make a motherfucker feel fucked up to wear a suit.
Hell yeah.
Oh, suit wearing ass nigga. But I'm telling you, like, not that y'all on the streets like that, but for you niggas that's listening to this right now, yo, you want to step your bitch game up? I mean, women game up. I know y'all gonna correct me. You want to step your shit up? Throw a motherfucking suit. It's
and
a
you
whole.
Just posted. You posted like Taylor. You got some Taylor.
Yeah, I just now I'm addicted to this shit.
Yeah, and I put.
I'm not gonna change my voice though.
Yeah, but I ain't change. No,
you did change your voice.
No, I didn't. I saw your shit. I was like, oh, you Jehovah's suit ass nigga, but you ain't hit me back. I was like, oh, okay.
Now I had to let you know. I didn't want you to think that you were an influencer with that or anything. But when they say, you know, you dress the part, whatever, it's good to be versatile, but it is something about, especially when you start getting this shit.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
That gray
platinum.
Yeah, because what we do is when we first get that first gray hair, you know, motherfucker try to snatch that shit out.
Yeah.
And then God put 2 more back in.
Yeah,
and then you take them 2 out, it's 4, it's like
Multiply.
6, 8, it start working. But I'm not mad at the grown up look. It's a good look.
Yeah, you gotta
embrace it.
Yeah.
And the ladies like the salt and pepper look too. They give you compliments.
They like the salt and pepper look until you piss them off.
Then you be like, you old motherfucker.
Especially the young ones. The young ones like, oh, I see you, daddy, with your salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Until you get in that first argument, and then you went from daddy to old ass with your old ass. That's the first thing. I thought you embraced my maturity. I thought you embraced all that, but nah, you need to go. They start telling you about the pill regimen you on.
Oh my God.
You need to take, did you take your pills? You can't lunge at them because they're like, you better not jump over here. Yeah. You're going to pop something. So that salt and pepper gets you so far until they get mad. When they get mad at you, you the oldest motherfucker on the block.
What do you tell your homies that be doing the dye and the Beijing? What do you ever tell them something like, hey man, you're looking crazy?
I'm just saying, stop trying to trick motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because, yeah, you know, like me, I had dabbled with it a while ago, but I was like, why am I running away from who I am? You know, now if I get an acting gig or something like that, and they want me to do it, whatever, but just to the idea of just trying to make myself look younger, I don't really agree with that. Yeah. I mean, fuck it. I'm an old head. The youngins is the ones that put the pressure on you. Old ass, you non-relevant. I'm like, why you getting mad at me? Because I'm still living, nigga. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Every time I have a birthday, I'm still here. Yeah. And another thing is that you could be an older guy with youthful energy. And when it comes to me, like on the stage, I hear some of the young comics talk shit, he over here, whatever. I'm like this, let's take it to the ring. George Foreman won a championship when he was 50. He won a belt when he was 50. Yeah. So if you want to call me irrelevant on any of those things, let's take it to the stage. And I bet your young ass shut the fuck up then.
Dude,
hello.
Let me tell you, I saw Donnell. He was it was New Year's Eve in Philly, and I think this was like the first time like he would come to the show.
Was it? No. Wallow came to the show too.
Okay, yeah. But like seeing you there, I'm like, that was my first time really seeing you do stand up. I'm like, this motherfucker is a like don't.
Oh no, he goes in.
Don't let this like skit you see on TV, the Ashy Larry, like that's part of it, but like, no, you really do this shit, bro.
But that was for me. Anything I've done on the comedy side of the acting, I just say it's a platform for people to get introduced to me. But ultimately, I want you to come support me doing a live show. Yeah. I've had arguments with people, and I'm like, well, you don't come to my show. Well, I know you're funny. How you know I'm funny? I see you on YouTube. It's no representation of me on stand-up. And if I pride myself on anything, it's being a student of the game, being good, you know, and not to be cocky, but I'm very confident that if you became a fan of me from any other work that I've done, if you come see me live, you're gonna be like, oh shit, you experienced
of course,
almost a whole summer of that, you know, and I know you've seen a lot of people. And I think you said to me one time, you just looked at me like, you said, how the fuck do you do that every night?
Yeah, like I feel like you just be, and it'd be joke, it'd be pow, 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 like. After then, it's like I don't feel like I'm like it's no routine. Like I don't feel like it's a routine. If it is, if you have one, I don't know. But you freestyle and then you look at the crowd and you just start going in on somebody, and I'm like, yo, this dude is.
Most stand-ups you do have a set,
but you have a different style though. It's a style. I don't know what you call that.
Like I don't really compare my style to anybody, but compliments I've received over the years. It makes me feel good. It was like you give me Robin Harris.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and the reason why, Robin Harris had an unorthodox style, like Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you were going to get until he started hitting them jabs. You like, this motherfucker don't even look like he's built for that. But, you know, and he had a style where he did observational comedy, Robin Harris.
Observational, okay, that's what it is.
Observational comedy. He did, like, stock jokes, and then he did crowd work. But it was like he had so many different type of fighting styles. So, again, if I was to compare myself to anybody in that realm, it would be Robin Harris because and it always felt like it was happening in the moment. Yeah. And the best comics, even if you do something you've done before, the best comics are the ones that make it feel like it just happened on the spot.
What are stock jokes? Because you
stock jokes is like a stock joke is like three guys go in a bar.
Okay,
there's a white man, a black man, and a Chinese man. You know what I mean? Jokes that probably been around for a while that everybody know. You know when someone says, "Oh, I got one for you," and then like somebody in your family repeated a stock joke is something that's already been out there in the stands as a joke.
So you mix in all of it.
I don't do stock jokes.
Oh, okay.
I don't do stocks. When I first started, because when you first start, when you don't have a voice, you need anything to get you to your time or what you do. So anything you could use, like I would do a stock joke, but then my opinion of that, it's not the most original form of comedy, and I'd rather just to be like in the moment. The best times I've had on stage where I knew I wanted to talk about a certain thing, but something took me somewhere else where I completely
forgot
or didn't want to use it. Bill Hicks has this thing called he had back in the day, the 12 Principles of Comedy. And one of them is that your act is what you fall back on. You know what I'm saying? And if any comics that are listening, like I always, anytime somebody's being introduced to stand-up, always tell them to check the 12 Principles of Comedy.
Right.
Because it's a nice little guideline.
A guideline for you.
Of what to do. And sometimes it's good to kind of, if you're doing something right, when somebody has parallel thoughts to yours, like, oh, we thinking the same, it makes you feel good. And another one was never ask the audience, how y'all doing?
Why is that?
It's a cheap, when you
like a fucked up intro, like a messed up intro?
No, it's like, how y'all doing? It's like, because when you ask the audience, like, how y'all doing? How long y'all been married? You like, it's almost like I'm not prepared. You know what I'm saying?
False start.
I'm going to, like, you know, comics do it, but whenever you see a comic like, how long y'all been married? That's because probably had a brain fart, probably forgot something, and he's trying to find that place to get some laughs.
I was at the comedy club yard when this play. I was at a comedy club and the dude did that, and I felt it. I love going to comedy clubs and just seeing, because it's either, if you're good, it's great. If it's horrible, it's still entertaining because you're drowning, and I want to see it.
I like seeing comedians say something really uncomfortable first. I'm like, oh, it's about to be a good one.
Yeah, but nowadays, because of cancel culture,
it's hard, huh?
It's hard. I've said this on other parts. It's hard for whack motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's how whack. I mean, well,
it's just hard for people that don't trust themselves, and then it's gonna be hard for people that like connected. Some people that like won't take chances because they don't want to fuck their paper up. You know, if I say this, I lose, and I can understand that. But I coined myself the king of too soon, and that's been my style forever. And people have asked the question, can a joke be too soon? And my answer to that is, a joke could be too soon, but it never could be too soon for a funny observation. You know, and that's what the best comics do. It's something they observe, they put their comedic twist to it, and they deliver that shit and don't give a fuck what nobody think.
Do comedians get upset? You're like, man, you did it before I can say something, or said like.
I mean, it could be frustrating for some people.
Because you're heavy on social media.
Yeah, because it's just another outlet to show comedy. It's another outlet for people to get to know me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't rely on it. I just love doing it. Yeah. And even when I do my shows, I realize you got some social media comedians that pack a room because of people following and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I would gauge the audience, and I'll do a room, say a comedy club is 500 people, and I'll ask the question, how many of y'all follow me on social media? And for years, it would be like a couple of claps. And I was like, you must be doing something right, because if you could sell out shows and it's not representative of your social media, then that means you have fans that have been following you for years. Yeah, it's not like oh man, this nigga just blew his YouTube page up and he funny, but it's been 27 years for me.
Yeah, you have a established fan base.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, how did you get in comedy?
Heckler. I get this question all the time. I was a DC police officer waiting to
Hold on.
Wait, you was a what?
No, I'm sorry. I was a police officer in the military. And at the time, I was waiting to be a DC police officer. And I used to work at this grocery store, Safeway. You're probably familiar with Safeway. They're out in California, too.
Yeah, Safeway.
But there was a guy, Mike Washington, who was hostess delivery guy by day, stand-up by night. So he would go out and pass out free tickets to the show to get people to come in. And I would go with some people that I work with just for fun, and I just started heckling motherfuckers.
You were like a professional heckler.
I was it was nasty, bro. Yeah. They used to apologize to me. They used to like, don't fuck with me. But most comics most people that do comedy, most hecklers, I'm sorry, are motherfuckers that want to be comedians but don't want to put the work in. Ooh. And afraid of the challenge of
or jump on stage. Laughing. That light is on them.
Yeah. And I did it first time in my life where the minute I touched the stage, I knew that this was going to be what I was going to be doing in my life.
Really?
For the rest of my life, yep.
Do you still bomb? Is there like...
No.
Okay, like when did that stop? When was the
to be quite honest, people can be like, yeah, right. You probably could count on two hands how many times I bombed in my career. Wow. And the times that I bombed, it's usually some circumstances that didn't help me, like a rowdy room where the mic is fucked up and the light is horrible, so I can't use the tools to make me get out of people, to get at people. But usually you bomb when you are learning it, but some people are just naturals. Some people were just supposed to do this. Yeah. I consider myself one of those people. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but it don't happen. It really doesn't happen too often. I got too many ways to get out of situations. And I think when you're younger in the game, it happens because you don't know how to handle situations that has never been brought to you. But once you, like if you take a hit, you're like, oh, I took a hit because of this, so I can't do that anymore. But I'm really, on stage, being likable goes a long way in comedy. People really, are more patient really with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can bomb, but it's not as bad as the asshole comedian. The asshole comedian, when he bombed, motherfuckers tear his ass up. Yeah. But I've been in some, I came up doing all go hard rooms. Like, it's crazy because I started on a chilling circuit. Then I started doing the mainstream. And that's a funny story. One of my friends, it was one thing you could do all the black clubs, but it made you feel good knowing that, and we don't need acceptance, but it was something to be said about, okay, I'm funny enough to make anybody laugh. I'm funny enough to be able to go to the mainstream room. I'm funny enough to go into the white room and rip. But when you first start stand up, when you're starting to do the mainstream rooms, they have what they call the check spot. And the check spot is basically they throw your ass out there. It's a time when all the waitresses round up all the checks. So that's usually a time where the crowd is the most rowdy. They're not really paying attention.
Wow. So when there's a lot of going on, like
it's a tough spot. They call it the check spot, and that's usually the first step before you get past in a room. And I came up in the black circuit, and I remember this comic. He was going through the stage of the check spot. He was so excited about, yo, I got the check spot. I'm worried. I got the check spot. Oh, God, I got the check spot. I'm like, nigga, you came up doing black rooms. The whole night is a check spot.
Oh, so you should be fine.
Yeah, you'd be fine. The whole, most black rooms, you got to deal with a crowd possibly getting rowdy, or they on your ass. You got to deal with motherfucker hitting the goddamn margarita machine, writing your punchline, motherfuckers trying to get pussy and shit. I'm going to tell you, coming up in the black circuit, it would definitely build character, and you'll be strong enough to do anything after you do that.
Yeah, what was some of your favorite cities coming up?
The ones that pay me the most money.
Hell yeah.
That was it, nigga.
Just go there.
Ain't nothing like a beautiful place with a little check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, I never really have no favorite places, because no matter where I go, whether it's like a very popular spot or the hottest shit, I'm going to give you the same heat either way.
No matter where you
at. Hey, I love that. Certain places, like maybe for like a hotel stay, or it's a beautiful area to when you not performing, to
tour,
do explore and stuff like that. But and touring, like you said, but for the most part, I enjoy every place I go to, because I never take for granted that you blessed to be able to. You fucking every time you wake up in the morning, you're your own boss. You make your own schedule, and the most important thing is that you making money off of a God-given talent.
Right.
We all have talents, but can you see them enough to make it work in your favor and the financial benefits of it? You know,
52 weeks out of the year. How much
40.
of that? 40 weeks a year you're on the road.
43, 44. Yep. I've been lately. I probably average 3 weekends a month. You know, that's where my money is. You know, like I don't make a living off of acting and stuff. It's stand up. Yeah. That's why, you know, I do a little acting work, but I'm not as aggressive with that as I am building my show up and building a fan base. Because if Hollywood decide they don't want to fuck with me no more, if somebody decides they want to cancel you or you lose this opportunity to be corporate or whatever, the people that's going to feed me are the people that's been feeding me for 27 years, and that's the people that pay to see me.
27 years,
That's
man.
crazy.
Do you like doing, what do you like doing most? Is it stand-up or writing? Is it different?
For me, those are
two different.
writing for stand-up, you mean?
Or just like even, or skits?
Stand-up.
Yeah, stand-up.
Yeah, years ago, I was really, really into, I had a sketch comedy group, like, years
like
ago.
Second City?
Like, yeah, I had, in fact, the crazy thing was, this was probably like 20-some years ago, and I realized that my stand-up, my material was funny, but it was like three-dimensional. You could see I was talking characters. I was talking about Fat Tyrone taking my bike. I was talking about these things, and I was like, what if I started writing this out as skits?
Dope.
You know, when I first started, one of the biggest bits I had was Fat Tyrone taking my bike. That was my trademark. That's the one I ate off a while, and I put that into a sketch. You know, and I used to love doing it, but then stand up started picking up, and I got frustrated with trying to keep a group of people together. Because the hardest thing, you could try to give people all the opportunities you want, but it's always be a couple motherfuckers that think they supposed to be doing what you do and don't respect what you did. Yeah. And even when I had my sketch group, it was a big deal. We was the biggest sketch group in New York and the most diverse group of sketch performers. It was 12 of us. Red Grant was a part of it. Mike Epps was a part of it. Don Foreman was a part of it. Rich Lewis, Mark Theobald. And I had this group of people that everybody contributed. Everybody, Brooklyn Mike, everybody contribute something to it. And I remember I got us to a point, I had a couple goals. I said I want to be touring, make money doing this. I want to get us an agent, right? I said I'm going to give myself a year to do that. I did it in 6 months. And people started flipping out on me in the group. I won't name any names, but people started having different motives or whatever. And I remember my manager was talking. She was like, oh, my God. The name of this group is Secret Society.
Dope.
And just shout out to Jimmy Martinez. He was a part of it, too. And she was stressing because we were so hot. Nobody ever did no shit where when you have a whole sketch group going in for an audition. Like, it would be like Mike Smith, so-and-so, and then Secret Society. And everybody had a shot at it. And she came and she was like, Tony, I think the group is falling apart. I was like, you do know that this group is designed to fall apart. But when it fall apart, it's going to be different ways. This person is going to be a writer. This person is going to be a superstar. This person is going to be a producer. And for the most part, everybody in the group, everything I said, they started doing that. Mark Theobald's like one of the writers on The Last OG. Of course, you know where Mike Epps' career is right now. Red Grant fucking is popping. My guy Rich Perilous, I think his last name, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. He does a lot of like commercials. You know, my friend Ariane Punter, she's like making a name for herself in the poetry world. But everybody, it broke off and everybody did something. And I was like, if I could create something, just a platform, that's the most important thing. Creating a platform for people to show what they do.
What year was this?
This was probably 99, 2000. Probably. Wow. Yeah, years ago. Yeah.
So, I'm interested. So, how are y'all making money? Like, it's 12 of y'all. Y'all like the Wu-Tang at comedy. You come out.
Well, everybody had their comedy hustles. Like one thing about, on the black circuit, if you don't have any like a lot of financial responsibilities, you could do. And black comedy was so popping back then. You could do like 3 or 4 shows a week and make enough money to split the money with your split the rent with your roommate. Yeah. So that you didn't have a lot. So, and what I used to do for money, I would do my own comedy nights.
New York.
In New York. Because when I first moved to New York from DC, the comedians didn't really embrace me too much. Because they see a motherfucker, they feel threatened. They're like, yeah, whatever. You know, when a motherfucker really try to fuck with you when they say, how long you gonna be in town? That's a nice way of saying, nigga, when you leaving? Yeah. Right. Get out of here. So when I couldn't get stage time in places, I would go remember this one place called Palm Court Lounge in Brooklyn, New York, and I used to go. They had an open mic on Mondays, and I was checking the spot up for like 2 or 3 weeks. Wasn't really popping, but I went to the owner. I was like, I said I'm a hustler. I said I think I can bring more people here. You know what I'm saying? Give me a shot, right? And everybody's like, why would you do it on Monday? And I remember like one thing about the Monday night, it was always people say ain't nothing to do on Monday. Nothing. It's never nothing to do on Monday. Yeah. So I named the night something to do on Monday.
Oh, I got it.
I named it that night, and I figured that to be a challenge. And man, I used to have, I ain't had no car, nothing. I had rollerblades, nigga. I was putting my posters on trees and shit like that, getting people out, making sure I had the baddest bitches. Because you know you get the baddest bitches, everybody gonna come.
Yes.
And that's how I, probably like the first part of my career in New York, that's how I fed myself. It was through nights I would produce. I did that one. Then I did another one called Poke Knockers. Poke Knockers was it was a West Indian spot. It had great food, and it was on Atlantic Avenue. And I was killing on Monday. Yeah. We was doing 3,000 a night at the door.
Okay.
And then our food and drinks was doing 7,000 to 10,000 a night. I made this night was so dope that traditionally in Brooklyn, barbershops are closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
But it was so popping
that barbershops had to open up.
They had to open up. They was trying to get their shit right. And I had some of the biggest, I've had some of the biggest names in comedy because people always supported me. But I was like, shit, I would go home. Of course, I was splitting with people, but back then, to walk with $1,000 or $1,200 a night, and you doing that every Monday,
you good.
I was good. I was knocking my rent off on one night.
Yeah.
And just flexing the other shit, But
that's crazy.
You have to figure out, especially when you first start, either you're going to do that or you're going to get a regular job. And once I started I got into it, everything from the 6th month of doing comedy, my life has been completely supported off of comedy.
That's a blessing, dog.
Yeah, you can do what you want and do what you love.
If you hustle, at the end of the day, it's like with anything, is what you're going to put into it. People that complain the most, if they really look at themselves, I always tell people, listen, if you fucked up, look in the mirror and play Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't have nobody but yourself to blame for where you are. You can make excuses. It's 2 excuses. It's a good excuse and a bad excuse. And at the end of the day, they both excuses. Something can happen to you,
right?
Where you had a show on Friday, something tragic, and your family happened, and you're not going to go to the show because of that. It's a good excuse, but it's still an excuse. Yeah. And who's going to challenge this and do something about it?
Right. Donnell, who's the first comedian to kind of mentor you in the game?
Tony Woods.
Oh, OG from DC.
Yeah, Tony Woods. Fat Doctor, R.I.P. He's passed away 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Those two probably were the guys that really saw something in me and helped me along. And it was tough because Tony Woods has helped so many people, and he was at the point when I linked to him I'm tired of mentoring motherfuckers. You
really?
know? Yeah, because you do shit for people, and then they don't never look back.
Or throw it back to you.
And it's so easy to throw a nigga a bone. You know what I'm saying? So your heart tells you want to continue to help people, but then after a while, that shit could burn you out. You're like, man, I'm sick of these motherfuckers helping these niggas get on. They can't throw nothing back. They forget about me. But, Tony was one of my mentors, and Fat Doctor was one of the guys that helped me with learning the structure of a joke, how to write a joke, the beginning, the middle, the rule of 3 in comedy. And then, interesting enough, and I'm older than him, but as of late, probably the last 10 years, Dave Chappelle has become one of my mentors.
Right.
And that's just not with him actually telling me anything, but just watching how he move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Watching who he is as a human, how he deals with the things that come in his life, and then how influential he is, and especially in the black community. I can, even though I'm older than him, I still learn a lot of stuff from him.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Talk about the Chappelle show. Like how did you get connected? I know you told the story a lot, but it's the first time on the
DC
FAQ
connection.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil Brennan at the time was one of Dave's writing partners. They were really good friends. And Neil Brennan, this was after he wrote Half Baked. He was optioning. He had a lot of, he did like 3 or 4 scripts that Hollywood was like, we want to take it. But his shit wasn't getting a green light. It was just he was getting the money and it wasn't being produced. So he wanted to get into directing and producing. And he was a fan of mine because he used to like be a PA or whatever in Living Color when he used to do auditions.
Wow.
He was a guy that recorded his shit. He always had some type of job in comedy. And he wrote a one-man short, and he reached out to my manager and asked if I would be interested in doing it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was popping. I was doing HBO's The Corner. I had some good shit going on. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I know you can't afford to pay me. Right? He already loaded. I said, don't even worry about that. But if you're in a position to throw me a bone, toss it back. So I did that project for him. Maybe 6 or 7 months later, he called me and said, I'm working on this project. I was like, what's the name of it? He said, well, we don't have a name of it. I said, well, let me know when you get a name for it. And that project that he was working on was the Chappelle Show. And Dave was a fan of mine through us both being from D.C. Okay. But we hadn't really worked together. Our relationship was more in passing, bumping into each other at a comedy club or whatever. But it was Neil Brennan who basically pitched me for the show.
Wow.
Dave, of course, nothing's going to happen without his approval. And he approved it. And Neil was like, he was the one that was always gunning for me on the show.
That's great. But again, it was something you said. You did something for free when you didn't have to. You could be like, no, dog, I know you got the money, pay me. Da, 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 da.
I tell people all the time, man, they say, what's the key to doing it? I was like, first off, you got to be willing to do what the next man won't do. And sometimes we get so hooked up on I need the money now, and when you need to build the relationships, the money's going to come. People always give me something like, when am I going to make money? You know when you're going to start making money? When you rip all the time. Yeah. You can't duck that shit.
Yeah.
You ask the motherfucker, how was your last show? It was okay. Well, how was it? Like, I mean, you ain't going to get paid until motherfucker can guarantee that when they put you on the bill, you're going to, anything could happen, but for the most part, when you get that shit popping, that's when it happens. and there's no way, when I was coming up, there was no way around hard work. Mm-hmm. Now with social media, and it's a different way of different thinking for what hard work is. Yeah. But when I was coming up, you got a reputation off of, it started in your town, right? You couldn't tweet about anything. And what happened was, especially at DC Comic, first out of town gig we thought we had was in Baltimore.
Which is around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner. 40 minute drive from DC. But what happened is you rip in DC, right? And then they start hearing about you in Baltimore. Then they start hearing about you in New York. They start hearing about you in Boston. You take it down south. You start in DC.
You just gonna skip Philly? You just gonna skip Philly like that? That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. I'm not gonna let him do this. I'm
maybe don't fuck with Philly.
No, because the highway.
I don't fuck with Philly.
Yeah, the highway.
They're a whole different breed though.
Wow,
they arrogant. They like all them niggas got light skin attitudes. It's one of the darkest cities, but every nigga act light skin. Dude, that's a place where dark niggas act light as shit. The dark skinned niggas laugh light skin. They be like, ah. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, so your reputation went from DC to Baltimore to Philly. Yeah. Then it went up to New York, up top. And then it went from DC going down south to like Richmond, to North Carolina, to Atlanta, to Miami. But it wasn't like, it is not a old nigga being bitter now. It's just that you had to just make your name by blowing shit up. Yeah. And like, I'm from the school of word of mouth. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I heard about that. Who popping in D.C.? I heard about that. That's how we got on back then.
Yeah. No, listen. So you're on the show. The show changes your life. It changes all of our lives, but especially y'all.
Wave.
Like, yeah. Was that 04? Was that 04?
Yeah, 04, 03, 04. I think it was 04. Yeah.
It was a rocket. So
From the first season, it was you guys was catching fire, right?
It was, but the thing about it is that I think I was the guy that saw the bigger picture and more confident about what the success of the show was going to be.
Really?
And that's because I wasn't in the game long enough to not be naive to rejection or people not fucking with it. Neil and Dave, Dave probably had 10 or 11. Everybody gave him a shot. They probably had 10 or 11 pilots that didn't really make it. The chemistry wasn't right. And that's why the name of his company is Pilot Boy Production.
Because just so many pilots?
Yeah.
Damn. I never thought about that.
Yeah, Pilot Boy. That's why. He's just a pilot boy. He's like, he get mad pilots. He was catching check, $250 here, $300 here, development. Shit, we going to pay him $500,000 to not do nothing.
And never go.
But it wasn't until, and it probably was going to happen, inevitably, Dave was going to be who he is. But you never know what is the link. Mm-hmm. But it was that show. It was that show where he got to hire his friends. At the beginning of that show, nobody was a cast member. And Comedy Central gave them the keys. Like, you could do whatever you want, have whoever you want on the show. So they were reaching out to people that they were fans of their work. Like, these people, like, what's something about them I like? And let's try it. So they were used to rejection. They were used to, like, high hopes and anticipation. I wasn't. And I was like, man, this shit, this is going to be the shit. And
you already knew.
I could just feel it. And the reason why, and especially, I felt something different for Dave because reality of when Dave first started, Dave was instantly accepted by mainstream.
Because of the movie?
He just was young.
He just was, yeah.
He was young.
He's on Letterman.
He was smart. He connected with the right people. He didn't go through the chitlin circuit. His path was different from mine.
Yeah.
Saying he was in a situation where he'd do certain showcases where people come out and he'd be like, he used to do shows and all the acronyms showed up. APA. You know what I mean? Like those are the type of shows. My shit was like niggas throwing chicken wings and Hennessy bottles and shit up at the motherfucker. But I knew something was different for him because in the black community, I'll be honest, at the beginning, they wasn't ready for Dave. They wasn't ready for him. They wasn't ready for the smart motherfucker. They wasn't ready for the black comic that wasn't talking dick, pussy, this and that. Yeah. The one that had insight, the dude that was smart. I was trying to like telling you something and teach you and saying they wasn't ready. And that's unfortunate about a lot of the black shows when I was coming. It was like a lot of them, it was just cheap comedy. It was just easy comedy.
Yeah. Right.
So he had already did his thing and was already making money, but it was something special about the Chappelle show that like the streets started fucking with him hard.
No, heavy, bro.
Insane.
And I word of mouth.
I used to call him after every episode. I would go to the barbershop and just not even dig for it, just see what we talk about.
Catch a vibe.
Yeah, and I called Dave. I was like, well, or I'll go to the barbershop and I'd be like, yeah, I just got off the phone with the streets. I used to always tell them.
You the street radar.
Yeah, I used to tell Dave and I was like, I just got, and they was curious to know what the streets are saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, they fucking with it, and it just, I don't know, that was, again, going back to having the right platform.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff, but that show was the platform to showcase so many people. Michelle Armour was executive producer. Rusty Condiff was one of the directors. But a lot of people don't know Bobcat Goldthwait, whatever,
Goldthwait,
yeah. I always have a problem pronouncing his last name. He directed the first season of Chappelle's show.
Really?
Yep. A lot of people
never knew that.
A lot of people don't know it's a lot. But it was, now you got all of these hungry people that's ready to make a name for themselves in their position, and you bring them all together, and then you blow up, but not without the vehicle of having a superstar in Dave.
Yeah.
Now, were you writing some of the skits also?
I wrote. What they used to do, Neil and Dave were for the most part the head writers, but what we would do was like we would pitch it if it was an idea.
Scenarios.
You would pitch it, and then they would structure it out or whatever. You was part of that process, and that's interesting because I used to pitch. I had to learn how to pitch. I used to pitch shit. And they used to matumbo my shit.
Get out of here.
I'd be in there like, because I was talking too much. I'd be like, yeah, I got this idea. So what it is, like, Dave worked for this so-and-so, and then he gonna come down the street, and they used to be like, no.
Yeah.
I'd be like, and then, okay, what happened is, no. And the first thing that I ever sold to them or they jumped on, I remember one night I was smoking some weed, and I was watching Comedy Central one night, a lot of nights.
Right.
I was watching Comedy Central, and then it was one of the Gallagher specials was on, right? And for some reason, Gallagher reminded me of Dave. I don't know what it was. It reminded me of Dave. And I know because at the time, I know Dave was into skateboard shit, and I saw Gallagher, he was on skates. I was like, this shit. I was saying to myself, man, Dave should be a black Gallagher.
Smashing
right?
the
I called Neil Brennan. I said, I got an idea. He said, what? I said, Dave Black Gallagher. 3 words. And I was like, we won it.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was it. And then the Keeping It Real Goes Wrong sketches, that was like my idea. Because I used to do a joke about, I'm tired of keeping it real. I was like, every time, I said, I want to sell out. I said, because every time I'd say some good shit, yeah, that nigga sold out. That nigga got a wife, kids, fucking white picket fence, you know, nice crib,
right.
Sell out, nigga. I said, but keep it real. It was like, yo, that nigga doing 30. That nigga doing 30 years to keep it real. I said, it's time for me to sell out. And that was just a joke that I was doing. And Neil, they liked that. And that's what created the whole Keep It Real Goes Wrong series. But one of the things I used to contribute, one of the things I used to contribute to the show, I did a lot of punch up.
Got it.
Like a lot of punch up and added different flavors. I remember we were doing the Wayne Brady sketch. It didn't have an ending. And I remember how popular I'm Rick James bitch was. So I was like, why don't we get Wayne Brady to say, I'm Wayne Brady bitch, which made motherfuckers laugh because another joint. Yeah. Another thing motherfuckers understand about the show. If you watch Chappelle's show now.
It's funny.
Right.
It's okay to watch it now.
If and everybody does. Like they do it as a New Year's. If sometimes something happens where you binge it. But if you notice, every time I came on the screen, the crowd would erupt.
Yeah.
And the reason why, because I was the warm-up comic for the show.
Oh.
So I was the
So
comic.
you're getting familiar. The audience out there would give you. So when they saw you,
That's my dog.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was explosive because they weren't, they were clapping and showing appreciation for the sketch, but it was also showing appreciation for a nigga that just did 30 minutes and beat the audience up. Yeah, so now it's like, oh shit, that's the guy.
That's dope.
Yeah, everything's a strategy.
I always wonder, did your money jump? Like, how did your money jump on the road?
That's where it was. Good question, because the popularity, we wasn't getting paid from the show. And not to be on why we didn't get our money. I understood the assignment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, what, $500 a sketch or whatever? It wasn't our show to get rich off the show, but we can get money off the popularity of the show. And I was like,
using the platform to create other opportunities for yourself.
And at the time I said, I'm not gonna I said, fuck it, I ain't trying to get a pay raise or nothing. I said, I just gotta go get my money. So I said, I created the I'm Rich Bitch tour. We did that. I was like, yo, that's the most popular phrase on the shit. Let's go get it.
Yeah.
So,
and in credit.
So Charlie Murphy wasn't doing stand-up. Charlie Murphy talked a lot of shit, but would not touch that microphone. And that's the only thing I used to bully him with. Yeah, nigga, you funny until the mic is in your fucking face.
Woo.
And you can't threaten Charlie with anything because he's going to step to it. So I knew I wanted to do this tour. It was a young agent. I forget what agency. Mike Berkowitz.
Okay.
He was a young agent at the time. He's got the big names now. Kevin Hart. He got all the big dogs. Yeah. But that was his biggest, to that point, the biggest thing. We handed him a tour. I took Charlie to an open mic. He went on stage because I knew Charlie was a huge draw. We was the most popular two outside of Dave on the show.
Yeah.
Let's get the money. But I didn't just want like a novelty show. So Bill Burr was also getting spots on Chappelle's show. Yeah. And Bill Burr was an animal. like Bill Burr, he came up through the chilling. Bill Burr did every room. So I said, it would have been easy for me to be like, all right, let's just do me and Charlie and anybody. But I was like, I wasn't guaranteed on how much juice Charlie would have, especially just learning. So I
hold on. Charlie Murphy didn't do comedy before that?
No.
What?
The first time he tried stand-up comedy was me taking him to a club.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I just thought he naturally was a stand-up.
I thought he did stand-up.
It was interesting to me. I'm like, out of all these funny motherfuckers you're around, nobody said you should do it. But you got to think about it for him, how difficult it
100%.
would be to say, I'm going to do it. You got to hear that you ain't your brother, blah, 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 blah. You know, it was the first time is when I took him and Bill Burr was on the show. It would be Charlie would MC, Bill Burr would feature, and I would headline. And we ran this tour for a year, and we was smoking them.
That's a good
tour. And people was, when Charlie first started, people was very critical of him. You know, you got the haters out there. And I'm like, he's in a tough position. Like, I don't know if you can imagine learning something while you selling out.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was an open, he literally was an open micer, and he was learning the craft and packing the house out at the same time.
Oh, that's great.
And then one thing he never did, he never wanted to be like his brother. People used to try to tell him what to do. You should do this. He was like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it my way. And then people started knowing him as a great storyteller.
Right.
You know?
Because he had great stories.
And he took some hits.
Yeah.
He took some hits in places where lack of experience was the cause of it. Mm-hmm. But that motherfucker never stop. He never stopped gunning for it and never stopped doing it. And motherfucker blew up off the shit.
Yeah. Let me ask you to decode something, because since we're talking about the Chappelle show, who was the guy that always did the robot?
Oh, brilliant.
Carl. I forget his last name. He was but that was the beauty of the magic of that show. Like, if something popped off, they just ran with it. And one day he was just doing a robot, camera hit him, and he became a robot nigga. Yeah. The nigga had merchandise and everything.
Yo, but what was he doing on the show? Was he?
He was a grip, or he was in production. Yeah, he was one of them lift up niggas, like, you know. And then that motherfucker, he was getting pussy off the robot.
Yo, because
he was fucking bitches off the robot. Is that the robot? I got some pussy one time because people thought I was a robot nigga. I ain't gonna tell you who I am. If it's a pussy getting situation, if it's pussy get got, I'm gonna go got it. Go. You can figure out I tricked you right after I bust. Yo, you lied to me.
I'm rich. Robot, nigga.
That's crazy. So, but you know what? Just even that, the brilliance of the robot, right? It's like you felt like we were in the middle of your private conversation.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was some inside shit.
Like, even with like rocker pads, like, you know what I'm saying, with Dame Dash, it was like y'all fusing hip hop. They got dope hip hop acts that we wouldn't see anywhere performing.
It was so dope, man. Yeah. And then, like, it wasn't crazy. And the tough thing was, like, it was hard to get some of those acts to do it because they didn't know what they was getting into.
Oh, right.
What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? I think I heard a story that Nas wasn't trying to fuck with it. Nas was like, man, I don't really fuck with that comedy shit. You know, rappers be real serious about shit.
They got an image to
they don't want to be, I ain't really with that comedy shit.
Yeah.
And look at how dope those performances were. You know, that's one thing, like, I would love to see, like, I know it's Netflix, whatever, but with the Netflix, they don't have the musical guest.
Oh, they had, because they licensed.
So much different fucking red tape you got to go through. Yeah, but that was the part of, as much as the sketches were, the performances were a big part of it. And then just how it was like shoestring budget shit. Like Dave and fucking Yassine fucking in
driving
a car.
Around.
Yeah. Yo, Dave and Kanye in a kitchen. DMX in a warehouse. All that shit was dope. Yeah. But it was all motherfuckers that, motherfucking just,
all them shits.
Dope, bro. Just dope.
I remember all them shit.
People always like, if it wasn't for Chappelle's show, blah, blah, blah. I'm like this, man. You can say whatever you want. Yes, Chappelle's show gave me the platform, but I wasn't no slouch. No. And my contribution helped make the Chappelle show the Chappelle show.
But like, why wouldn't you want, like, as a comedian, as a whoever, why wouldn't you want to be known for a couple of different things? But like, yeah, that's the thing.
But some people
like,
get in their shit, get in their egos and shit. Like, oh, you must get tired of people calling you Ashy Larry, nigga. Ashy Larry is an LLC. You can write a check to the nigga.
You can get some merch. And
then it's so hard in this business to be remembered from anything. So people approach me, you know, I don't get upset about, what's up, Ashy? I don't give a fuck. It's something that connecting you with me and you enjoy it. So who am I to be like, fuck you, don't call me Ashy Larry. Yeah. And I'm an ashy nigga anyway. So
well,
like,
don't give him lotion though. Don't give him lotion though.
He has his own brand of lotion. Or
the pandemic made a nigga dig deep. That pandemic, yo, man, before the pandemic popped, I was about to have one of my biggest touring years of all time. Everything is starting to come together now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got the momentum. Yep. People enjoying me. I've been going to these cities for years, and then I just started feeling it was about to pop. I had shows with Dave. I had shows with Rogan. I had shows, my own shit. And then the pandemic hit, and that shit would like wipe my whole shit off the books. Yeah. I was like, this it forced me to have more of an entrepreneur spirit. I'm like, what happens if you can't perform? You got to figure this shit out. So, and like Fuzzy was saying, I came up with a lotion line. I had nigga, I was selling everything, candles, smudge sticks.
Yeah.
I killed them, son.
Where can people get the
DonnellRawlings.com. My merchandise is on there.
Okay.
DonnellRawlings.com. My tour dates and everything. But I was like, oh shit, it made me be a hustler. And every fucking black dude from DC at some point thought about the lifestyle of being a hustler.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a hustler. I didn't want to go to jail.
Oh, 1,000.
So I was like well, maybe you need to apply
Yeah.
that knowledge or whatever it is.
So you should start doing a bunch of like your own brands and stuff.
My own shit. I tried to sell crack, but I didn't have it in me to beat crackheads up.
Yeah.
If you can't,
or have sex with crackheads.
Yeah, you gotta.
You got a lot of drug dealers. You gotta have sex with the crackheads.
We know a lot of drug dealers.
Yeah,
I didn't know, nigga. I don't know about having sex with crackheads.
Some drug
That's
dealers.
a Philly thing, maybe.
No, it's dog. How you think they gotta have somebody to promote it? So if
it's called crack, bro. Crack is coming. So
think about this. Y'all two selling. You hustling. It's a female. She got some people. If he flirt with her, start doing she gonna bring her clients to him.
Yeah, but crack pussy can be very dangerous.
I'm telling. I know dudes who have you don't know no drug. Talk to your drug dealer homies.
What Wire episode was this?
No,
that sound like something on the corner, nigga.
Yeah, man.
That's an episode of The Wire, nigga. Where the fuck you
comment below. Y'all know what I'm talking. Yeah, it's a lot of.
I've never heard that.
Oh, it's a lot of drug dealers that had sex with crackhead girl.
I'm gonna call one of the. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yo, you said one name. You said you was touring with Chappelle, Joe Rogan. Talk about Joe Rogan because he just came out. It was like,
it's tough to talk about it. It's tough to talk about it because there's so many, like his situation
about him saying the N-word.
Yeah, his situation, like it's like I understand how his comments could be so troubling to the black community and some people upset, but it's just difficult when somebody is your friend, right? It's tough for me to say that I don't believe he's what these other people think.
Yeah.
And even if I express that, and I have done it on social media posts, you know, I was like, I don't know. It was a picture of me, Dave, and Joe. I was like, I don't know if this picture would have been possible if Rogan was the person that people making him out to be.
Yeah.
It's such a sensitive thing. It's so many people, well, he said it. You know what I mean? I believe in sticks and stones may hurt your bones, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to take a position. It's going to be unfavorable.
Yeah.
However, it's just no win for me talking about it.
Yeah.
But the one thing I don't agree with is I understand like nowadays we want to hold people accountable, right? Mm-hmm. But when is something a teachable moment? When is something okay that could have been that person or whatever, but where's that person now? And I always say, I ain't gonna tell nobody what word you can use. White people, y'all listen, use the N-word. Say nigga, right? But this what you gotta understand is that there's consequences.
Definitely some consequences.
What consequences? One consequence, you can get fucked up. Another consequence is you could be going through what Joe Rogan is going through right now. Yeah. It's like you got to be responsible for the clapback of that. I also know that one thing about podcasts, you can be so comfortable that, because you can be so comfortable that your inner thoughts are your outer thoughts.
Hell yeah.
And you have locker room moments.
Yeah.
If you think that some of these people that's mad at Joe haven't used the N-word, you know what I'm saying? But the platform that he used it is just everybody could hear it, and they can see it. But I'm pretty sure we have some people that we consider to be good friends of ours that Thanksgiving, when they're around their own people,
they're going in.
It's a whole joke. I know every Thanksgiving I use cracker ass cracker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a tough one. I respect the friendship that I have with Joe Rogan.
Yeah. You said that. You said that.
And I from what I know of him, my encounters with him having me on his podcast, whatever, I never got a sense of he was that person. I did get a sense of a lot of people that follow him
maybe on that.
Yeah. Which makes you, like, I remember the first time I did this podcast, I was like, this old fucking, I know I'm about to go fuck with this Donald Trump motherfucker. And nothing like that, you know? Yeah. My relationship experience with him been nothing but a great guy to me.
I feel like we're very judgmental. We're in a state in time like right now that let's go dig back.
And it's sensitive. Everybody's sensitive.
None of us are perfect.
Hell
we're
no.
always like, you.
And it's easy with that. First off, the nigga conversation it's always going to be an issue.
Yeah.
That's why, like, it's always going to be the same shit. You can't say it. Who can say it? Whatever.
Right.
I mean, white folks just don't use it, you know? But these motherfuckers be getting their panties in a bunch, right? People love to jump on something because it's the popular thing to jump on right now.
Here's the thing. I got shit with me. You got shit with you. You got shit with you. I just want to work on my shit. You got some shit you got to work on. You work on your shit. I'm focusing on over here because we can't control. Man,
I told myself, man. I'm like, every time I turn around, one of my friends I can't fuck with no more. You know, I'm like this. I told myself the other day.
The list is getting short.
I said, man, they ain't want me to fuck with Dave. They ain't want me to fuck with Joe.
Yeah.
They ain't want me to fuck with Kid Rock. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, I'm like, I'm just fucking with my son now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be super righteous and shit like that, because when it's your opinion, it's never gonna be no right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just when I just talked about the Rogan thing, not even talk about, just post a picture, it's always one sellout. It's always one coon. I'm like, man, just as they say, miss me with that shit.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit. I don't have no time for that energy. Just too much other thing. I'm on the second half of my life right now.
Yeah,
bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that.
We are. Yeah.
I don't have time to be trying to explain, oh, this is what I meant. This is what I did.
Fuck that.
And then I know, and another thing, the black community,
you're right.
We quick to forget. We forget quick as shit. Like last year, nobody was fucking with Kanye. When he was with the MAGA shit and everything. Now, nigga went to a couple of nightclubs and shit. You know what I mean? A couple of nightclubs, start fucking black bitches again or whatever, if he doing that. And then it's Kanye. We so quick to want to be mad at something. But at the end of the day, what do you want out of this?
Right.
What do you want out of this? You just want to just dead a motherfucker? Or do you want him to have a better understanding? Maybe he can use his platform to educate, but we quick to slam on the motherfucker. I know one of Kanye's closest friends, I was like, motherfucker told me straight out, I was like, how you feel about it? He said, yo, he's still my brother. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, somebody DM me, I ain't tell you, it was like, I just don't, I saw your podcast is on Spotify. I don't think you're going to respond, but you should take it into account.
Man.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm not going to respond. I got shit to work. Like I got so much. We got so
other
much shit
to worry about.
Yes.
That. And then what
get our listeners up.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is like motherfuckers work with racists every goddamn day.
Some real
And
ones.
at the end of the day, if your beliefs and how you feel, it ain't affecting me. If now, I don't give a fuck about what you think. I don't like black people, whatever. Is it costing another black man a job? Is it costing them fucking money? Is it costing them issues with their family? How is the way somebody thinks affecting your life? Yeah. Nigga, the nigga was punctuated. Nigga wouldn't have been a hard word to take if it wasn't followed up with a whip.
Yeah.
It's that crack of that whip that made you hate the N-word.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You go like, Tony. like it's that, like, you hear nigga, it remind, that's it. Yeah. You know, but, it's one of those things like, man, sometimes our folks can be so exhausting.
Yeah.
So exhausted, tired. I don't want to say I'm tired of being black. I'm just tired of the bullshit. Like you say, I just can't put my energy in certain things. I put the energy on things that are important to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
How was the Yellow Springs experience during the pandemic? If you guys haven't seen, there's a documentary that Dave and his team are touring. I went a couple of times. How was that for you as a comedian?
It was, for me, it was not just as a comedian, as a human.
Yeah.
It was life-changing. It was the first time, because, we in the business of hustle to bustle.
100%.
We don't look at the simple things and how important they are. We don't really take into accountability. We don't take into account how pure and dope nature is. Being able to walk in the woods, being able to go fucking down a river with your kids, your good friends, tranquility, peace. You know what I'm saying? And it also was a wake-up call because I'm not a huge fan of Hollywood.
You're not?
No.
Even though you're in it.
I'm only in it. The reason I even moved here is because years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, I wasn't getting a lot of personal appearance dates. So I was like, well, maybe I need to reintroduce myself to Hollywood, try to get more film and TV opportunities, audition.
Got it.
As soon as I moved to California, my personal appearances started going. I would have never probably been here. But for me, the Yellow Springs, that experience, it made me realize that you got the right group of people, you can make Hollywood anywhere. Hollywood does not have to be here anymore. And we still feeling the effect of that when you got people like Tom Segura, the top podcast dude, Joe Rogan. They said, fuck Hollywood. They moving to Austin. People are moving to Nashville. They're like, why do I need to be here? The highest place to live. Yeah. Quality of life is okay, but the highest place to live, I could just dumb this shit down. And then it made me realize, like, little shit. Nigga, I enjoyed the fact that I would be on them country roads in no fucking traffic light for like 5 miles. Yeah. I enjoyed the fact that some place was closed, at a certain time. I just enjoyed it. And maybe it's probably being older and have a young kid now. I was like, the other shit don't even matter now.
Don't matter.
And the dopest thing about it was they was able to bring together a group of creatives where you saw when we was out there,
yes, sir.
Niggas never stopped working. We doing podcasts. We doing river runs. Talib, Rico, motherfucking Federico out there, we fucking doing music, shooting videos and shit. I was like this. I could do this for the rest of it until I'm out of here. I could be comfortable.
You were happy.
I was happy as shit.
Wow. And like cookouts on the weekend and
we had a good time, man.
You can really cook though, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've been hearing about your chef. That's why I said
I don't like to use chef. I just say cook. Chef is a very, very extreme title. I would like, if anything, like the nigga can burn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can follow a recipe. I cook with love and soul. But that was another thing, going back to Yellow Springs, that I really appreciate about those days, breaking bread with positive people, and it was nothing.
It felt more family.
It was nothing. It was the sexiest non-fucking situation.
I get it.
Yo, it felt so good. You was like, oh, I need to get some ass. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I need to get one of these creek bitches, right? One of these smudge stick, barefoot, walking in the fucking grass bitches, one of these earthing, grounding hoes. Now hoes, excuse me, fuck it. I talk like that because my father talked like that.
Yeah.
Nothing, no disrespect to thing. But it just was a good vibe. And if, like you said, for us, it felt like everybody was family. Everybody was supportive of each other. It was just dope, man. Yeah. And what made it really dope is because the next year we did some dates, but it was never gonna feel the way the first time, because the first time the thing that was dope about it, we was doing shit when nobody was doing nothing.
Man, for real.
You know, like when motherfuckers was afraid, this motherfucker got his hands on a gut, and they was mad at Dave. Yeah, it must be nice to have rich friends. And you know what? You're right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's something to be said about a nigga that can get 2 testing machines and you niggas ain't getting tested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that motherfucker was on, like, was the first one. We remember we had the 20-minute joint. Like, it wasn't like people like this. Look at y'all out there taking chances. We was taking.
Right.
We was taking everything we could to be safe and to say we want our life as normal as possible. It wasn't like motherfuckers around each other like that. It was like, yeah, but somebody still got it, right? And it did. It busted. The bubble busted.
Yeah.
And when everybody was freaking out, all the motherfucking bitches that was on them private jets, that was eating Wagyu steaks and all this type of shit, enjoying their life. I love it out here. When this shit busted, they, I don't know if I should have done it. Everybody, we was taking chances, but we was living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I saw on the documentary, and
this rap, I always lose my thought. And when the bubble busted, everybody's like, oh God, having sex shouldn't be here. And Dave was one of the only ones that was calm. And I was like, oh man, we was that close to having a perfect. He was like, Donnell, you understand? This is the reason why we test.
For this moment right here.
For this moment right here. Yeah. Made sense.
Yeah.
We wasn't out there when it popped, everything shut down. Bop. You go quarantine, bop, bop. Yeah. Everything shut down. And the first day we went, excuse me. First day we had like, when it first popped, we had like two positives. The second day, 3 positive. Fourth day, 4 positive. And then the day that it's supposed to pop, we started negative because we did everything you do when the shit busts.
Yeah.
You know, and
quarantine.
Motherfucker asked me, Donnell, was it worth it? For what we created, for that economy, for the mental state, for the connection I had with my son over the summer.
That's what I was going to say. Seeing that video of you and your son, and I hit you on Instagram, it was like, that's what you like to see. Like a black father,
bonding.
Son.
Yeah, and it was like, everybody's like this. Donnell, I know you must be crazy with no stage time. I never was mad about not getting on stage often because I traded stage time in for daddy son time.
Ooh.
That was the first time in my son's life that I was with him 3 months in a row and loved every minute of it.
He's going to remember that.
I did not miss stand-up at all because I got to connect with my son. The fact that I'm seeing this motherfucker out in the woods, bare chest, fucking running around with his friends and shit on the fucking river, that was worth it to me.
Worth it.
And even now, I'm working my ass off to get to the point where I don't have to do comedy clubs as much. That's my foundation. But I want to spend more time with my son. I don't want to do the Thursday through Sunday hustle no more. And like my grind is a slow grind, but it's paying off to the point where I could do like these motherfuckers, have a popping ass podcast, right? And then I go out and do dates whenever the fuck I want to do.
Whenever you want.
And I get to connect with my son.
What's next for you, Donnell?
Well, I don't think that I can answer that question.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to be something, right? I'm always going to be trying something. Something always going to be new.
Ahead of the curve.
But the thing that I really want to do is like what y'all doing. I remember when you first started getting into this, where I was like, why do I want to do a podcast? Because I'm my own boss. And you get that shit up to the point where you get the money. Like, that means that no director, no producer, nobody can say fuck you because I can stand on this shit.
Hell yeah. You
doing it on your own.
You see who's in the room? You see who's in the room doing this?
It's just us.
Yeah.
And I'm and then it's one of those things where you put the work in and you'll get the rewards of it. You know, and I'm really excited about what y'all doing because I remember you was like, yo, I don't want to talk about what it, but, and then you ain't like, you've had a career of knowing all the motherfuckers do this. And something hit you was like this, man, not fuck them, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. I can do, wait a minute.
Do it ourselves.
Connecting. Why don't I do this shit myself? And
that was our attitude. Yes.
Everybody, and the thing is, it's like anybody tell you in this podcast game, it's consistency of it. I like the fact that I can
number one thing we keep hearing, Q.
Yeah, it's a marriage. Just keep putting that shit out. It's like it's your kid. You gotta raise your kid. You gotta feed your kid. You can't stop. If a day is bad, you still need
gotta
food.
keep going. Yeah.
It's consistency of it. And even right now, the Donnell Rawlings show, it's a slow grind for me, but it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing, like, everybody, when you think about podcasts, especially in the comedy world, the grail is everybody wants to be Joe Rogan, right? But here's the thing. You want to be Joe Rogan now. Yeah. You didn't want to be Joe Rogan 12 years ago when he was doing a setup like this.
And nobody
understood, nobody believed it. So, even with y'all and me, just stay the course, and it's going to eventually pay off.
You preaching to us, man. I love it.
Yeah, when you going to invite us over the crib, I
don't fuck with y'all like that, son.
Just cook for us, dog.
I don't fuck with y'all like that, son.
Come on, salmon.
It's no suit. It's no suits allowed, son. It's a no suit allowed, son.
You can smoke weed in a suit. You got Donnell got whoever your partners are.
Yeah,
that brand.
THC Design. Shout out to THC Design. I got this strand. Everybody's getting into it, but
fire. Bro.
I have this strand called "Who's Up, We Up," and the only reason. You know how when you do something, people like, he was smoking. But I hit this strand once, and next thing I know, I was diving into the Pacific Ocean, just celebrating life. And like, I'm not like, I smoke weed, but I don't smoke weed to get knocked out.
Right.
I like shit I can be creative and be motivated and just be active. And the strand is, we still working on getting in the dispensaries in LA. It's called Who's Up. It's powered by it's flowered and powered by THC Design, and it's fire.
It's pre-roll stuff he has too.
You get that on DonnellRawlings.com?
Nah, nigga, stop calling police ass nigga. Nah, you can't. Nah, we ain't doing that.
Oh, it's
9452, brother.
It's hand to hand. So you see him in your city. He'll serve you.
I ain't doing none of that. You know people that fuck crackheads. I ain't fucking with you, son.
I'm still trying. I'm going to Google that.
Please, no. After this, please call. That'll be the after show. Call your homies who are in the streets.
Don't call your homies. Call the crackheads and say how many of y'all fucked the dude that was getting high.
The drug dealers have sex with the crackhead. That's normal. They got kids.
You sure you ain't mixing up that with prostitution,
bro?
That's prostitution.
Okay. Yeah,
pimp. You know,
it's gonna be a lot of people commenting on that.
Q, I've never.
Never heard that because no one wants to say that. No one wants to broadcast.
But no one wants to fuck a crack.
No
girl, crack lady.
Crack person. You can catch them on the first week though.
Who you got?
You catch them on the first week. Not when they
little thick.
Like this. Yeah, you catch them with it like,
you got somebody you can call right now. Let's make this content.
Nah, bro, I'm not incriminating myself on camera.
I go no crack. I had no crack. Ex-crack ain't got. No, I ain't gonna do that.
Oh, so that'd be dope. That'd be funny.
What? I do know somebody that. I'm
telling you,
I ain't gonna do it to her.
Yo,
she's hurt her life. She's always open. I ain't gonna do it to her.
Yo, do you have a homie?
Please.
I ain't gonna do it to her.
Do you have a homie?
No,
we'll beep the name.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
I know. I'm trying to think.
I ain't gonna do it. You got me thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it.
She was saying?
Yeah, she don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna do it.
Call her.
I'm not gonna
Is she a
do it.
Just
comedian?
put it on speaker. Just like, don't say your name.
Is she a comedian?
I'm not gonna do it, son.
Damn.
No. Nah, I'm not gonna
Just
do it,
speaker.
son. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Fuzz, you
an evil motherfucker right now.
I want to know,
son.
bro, because
the look on your face right now is awful.
He want to know.
Son.
Do you remember the dude that we was talking to yesterday, and he was telling us this elaborate story?
Yes.
Can you have his number?
Yes.
Call him. Thank you.
He's not He's not a.
But I'm just saying, ask him.
He's a killer.
Ask him if he's ever heard that. Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
I'm not.
Please.
I think he changed.
I don't think there's no truth to this story.
Yo, y'all got me looking crazy.
No, you got yourself looking crazy.
Because here's the thing: if I call somebody, it's like you only know dudes who have sex with crackheads. So I never heard.
I know a lot of reputable drug dealers.
If it's right there, it might get a pop off. But to say is if I'm confused with, just say that's how you build the loyalty.
That's what I'm tripping off of,
dude.
Q.
All right, we'll do. Listen, FAQ podcast. Because they're not gonna do it, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Maybe it's a Philly thing.
It's not a
Philly drug dealer thing.
Yeah, that's that Philly dark skin, light skin energy.
There you go.
FAQ podcast. Could we get?
I grew up in Compton. No, I grew up in Compton,
Call
bro.
somebody from Compton. Why are you stalling?
Because that's your story. You need to validate that.
I can't. If I validate it, it's just like, oh, you know.
So how many when you validation? You said that's a thing. So we need more than one crackhead. We need a dozen crackheads.
But it got to be from different cities. So I'm saying, you call your people from Compton like, yo, have you ever heard this?
I don't see nobody pulling up in the 5.0.
Tweet that shit. Is it true? Tweet that shit. You'll get a feedback. Tweet it.
Pulling up in the 5.0 and I just got through knocking off a crackhead. Nah, that don't even sound right.
It don't sound
okay,
right.
you know what? I'm gonna call.
Thank you.
I'm
telling you.
Damn, I don't want to say his.
Don't say his name.
Now you want me to get my shit up. Now you don't want to say his name.
Don't say his name.
You want to blow.
Just call the person. Be like, yo, I'm on the podcast. Don't say your name. Yo, have you ever heard of this?
But this is gonna be a West Coast call though.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'll call.
Man.
You know who I'll call?
No,
I'm gonna call. Boom. What? Because he'll know.
Yes. There we go. Yes, he would know.
All right, here we go.
He would know.
I want to know who knows.
Phone's ringing. I can say his name.
Okay.
Because he knows that scene.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yo, G, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You are live on the FAQ podcast.
What's up, G Perico?
With myself, Quincy, and Donnell Rawlings. All right?
Donnell Rawlings.
Yes.
Hey, Donnell Rawlings, that's my nigga, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir. The comedian.
That's my nigga Ashy Larry.
What's up?
Yo,
you got Ashy Larry over there, man.
Yes,
What's up, nigga?
Yeah. What up? Yeah. So listen, man, we got it. QDs. We're talking about. It was a story. QDs, tell the story.
All right. So G,
because I'm not saying you did this. You know the scene.
G, have you ever heard that drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
All right. So G, have you ever heard drug dealers having sex with crackheads just so they can build their loyalty so the crackheads will bring them more crackheads? Have you ever heard of that?
Hell nah, niggas.
Thank you, son. Call the number, man. This motherfucker out here fucking crackheads trying to get loyal.
Niggas a hit for a blowjob.
Oh, what'd you say?
Niggas be giving smokers a hit for a blowjob, not to go get no more clientele.
But you. So
I said that too for the top piece.
Man, that's just niggas be horny as fucking smokers for a dime or a nickel or a dub.
So you've heard of smoker.
Man, he answered the goddamn question, bro.
No, he said no, but then he said yes.
But that's top.
No, he said yes for saying. I said I understand.
Smokers for clientele.
You said you said
you give out free hits for clientele. That's just some horny shit. Niggas sitting in that spot all day, horny as hell.
Hey, G.
One of them smokers walk in with ass.
And that's the first week, a year into it.
Hey, G,
that's the first hit, though.
Do you know any drug dealers that have gotten smokers pregnant?
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, I wouldn't call them drug dealers. No,
they're probably like the little corner boys.
Yo, the way you put
gang, like niggas that's halfway smokers they self that might have a little dope sack. Yeah, I heard of that.
That's not the actual pusher.
But not no real drug.
Crazy.
No, not no
real D-boy.
You looking crazy.
Yeah, they got me looking crazy.
A real certified D-boy? Hell no. Now, a nigga that dibbles and dabbles a little bit himself and might have him a little half ounce or some shit here and there, yeah, hell yeah.
All right.
I heard that.
Thank you. I think that's a Philly thing. G, I'll call you later.
D-boy. Not no real D-boy.
All right, thank you.
Hey, shout out my nigga Ashy Larry, though. You know what I mean?
What up, son?
Thank you, G.
Good looking, G.
I'll call you later, bro.
All right.
Respect.
Listen.
Come on, that's a real one.
Listen.
Yo,
guys,
you sound crazy.
No, the fact that you keep trying to rework the question.
It wasn't 100% no. It wasn't 100%.
You got a friend that's a drug dealer.
He has a friend
He's a friend that has a...
I don't have a friend.
You have a friend that's a drug dealer.
Now you wonder why I was skipped Philly. You wonder why.
Yo.
215, stay alive.
Yo.
Woo!
Listen. You
have a friend that's an ex-drug dealer that he admitted that he was knocking down a crackhead.
He's not an ex. It's not an ex.
Oh, he's active. He's active. Okay, so...
Oh, niggas still selling crack?
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, it's the FAQ podcast.
I feel like I'm too old to know a nigga that sell crack now. We too old to know a nigga that sell crack. Tell that nigga let it go, son. You know your life needs to be changed when you still know crack dealers.
I don't know crack. Listen, it's the FAQ.
You still hang out with crack dealers.
I don't. I be at home. It's the FAQ podcast. I got my suits. That's what I be doing.
You learned that from Will Smith book.
No.
Yo, I can't believe you still know crackheads.
Yo, it's the FAQ podcast. Thank you to Donnell Rawlings.
You got a friend that's fucking a crackhead.
Yo.
That's funny as fuck, man.
Respond to this, y'all.
Yo,
please comment below.
Crack, you smoked up that stack in a minute. Should be back.
It's the FAQ podcast.
Oh, God, this is fucking
subscribe,
funny.
FAQ podcast.
One of your homies driving an Escalade with crackhead burns on his dick.
Motherfuckers looking out the window like this. We go to the podcast. Look, they like this. This ain't me. You go to the podcast. You go to the podcast.
BuzzyandQ@gmail.com. Y'all
Yo,
crazy.
this is great.
Yo, thank you, Donnell.
No problem.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, dog.